Mastering modal verbs for obligation. Making, must, have to, and should work for you. Hello, language learners. Today, we are diving into a fascinating part of English grammar, modal verbs for obligation. We'll be focusing on what they are and how you can use them effectively in your conversations. Modal verbs for obligation are a powerful tool to express necessity, duty, or obligation. Are you ready? Let's jump right in. Before we get into obligation, let's briefly touch upon what modal verbs are. They are a small group of verbs that convey modality, meaning they express necessity, possibility, permission, or ability. Some examples of modal verbs include can, could, may, might, will, would, shall, should, must, and ought to. Today, our spotlight will be on must, have to, and should, which are frequently used to show obligation. Now, let's focus on our main topic: modal verbs for obligation. When we talk about obligation, we're referring to something that is necessary or has to be done. In English, we often use the modal verbs must, have to, and should to express this concept. Must is used to express a strong obligation or necessity, often stemming from the speaker's opinion or some regulations. Have to is used to express an external obligation or necessity, often due to external circumstances or rules. Should is used to express a mild obligation or suggestion, often providing advice or recommendations. To give you a better idea, let's look at some examples. Must, you must stop at a red light. This expresses a strong obligation due to a regulation. Have to, I have to go to work early tomorrow. This shows an external obligation due to a personal circumstance. Should, you should eat healthy food to maintain good health. This is a suggestion or piece of advice. And that wraps up our lesson on modal verbs for obligation. Remember, these are a great way to convey obligations and necessities in your English conversations. Practice using must, have to, and should in your daily life and watch your English fluency grow. We hope this video was useful, and we look forward to seeing you in our next lesson.